All right, today's lesson is the next type of system, which is called special types of systems. So far, we've learned that we want everything in ax plus by equals c form, which is standard. But today, you can have it either in y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept. I'm not waiting if you're choosing not to write. Like, I'm not going to wait on you. Or you can have it in standard ax plus by equals c. It doesn't matter. Whatever's easiest for you. All right, so there are three special types of systems. Anytime you have two lines, they will either intersect and have one solution. So this point right here would be your answer. That's what we've been learning so far, right? Yes? Okay, now what's new today is if the equations are the exact same and you graph them, it's basically going to be a line and then that other line would lay right on top of it. So what kind of answer would we have? All real numbers. So we would write it like that, or you might hear the words infinitely many solutions. So what would the equations look like if they're like that? If they're in y equals mx plus b form? What would their slopes be? The same. So the m, the slope would be the same. That's your m. What else would be the same? The y-intercept would be the same, the b. They would basically be the exact same equation graphed on top of each other. And then the last one is our parallel lines. What would that answer look like? They would have the same slope, but a different what? Y-intercept. So how would I write that answer? No solution, meaning you can write it like this, as like a zero with a line through it. They're never, ever, ever going to touch each other. They don't have a solution. Now, when you're solving in this form, okay, let me explain that. When they're in y equals mx plus b form, if they have the same line, the slope and the y-intercepts are the same. But if they're in standard form, your answer would be something like 0 equals 0. If you're solving in standard form and you get 0 equals 0, that means they're the same line and your answer is all real numbers. If you're solving in y equals mx plus b form, they're just going to have the same m and the same b. Do y'all understand that? Do I need to say it again? I don't feel like everybody's paying attention. It just depends on what form you're looking at. So if they're in y equals mx plus b, they'll have the same slope, same slope, same y-intercept. But if they're not in slope-intercept form and they're in standard and you solve, you're going to get 0 equals 0. That means your answer is all real numbers. Moving on to parallel. In y equals mx plus b form, they'll have the same slope but different what? But if they're in standard form, you would get something like 0 equals 5. Does 0 equal 5? No. And that's how you know it's no solution, that they are parallel lines. All right, so let's look at the first example, which is in y equals mx plus b form. How do I know I should look at y equals mx plus b? Well, this one's pretty much already almost in it, right? So I'm looking at these two equations, but I need to change them to y equals mx plus b. How would I get this y by itself? But divide everything by 2. So I have y equals -3 halves x plus 1. can I get this one to y equals form? Okay, what would I need to do? Move this 3x over here by subtraction. So I have 2y equals negative 3x plus 10. How would I get rid of the 2? Divide everything by 2. So I have y equals negative 3 halves x plus 5. Now, what am I looking at? I'm looking at their slopes and y-intercepts. So here's this one's slope. Here's this one's slope. Are they the same? Okay, now stop. We got to look at their y-intercepts. If their y-intercepts are the same, then they're the exact same line, and it's going to be all real numbers. If their y-intercepts are different, then they're what? They're parallel lines. So what do y'all think? Do they have the same slope? So I have the same slope. What about their y-intercepts? Different y-intercepts. So what would my answer be? Why would it be no solution? These are parallel lines. So there is no solution. You can't solve it. There's no way. I'm positive. You can't solve it. No, they're never going to intersect each other. There's no solution. Okay, let's look at the same problem, but this time let's look at it in standard form. And we went ahead and put it in standard form for you. Okay, if I wanted to solve this by elimination, what would my first step be? I don't want to divide. I want to multiply one of them by -1. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm just going to do change, change. So change. Now can I go eliminate? Do these two eliminate? Okay. Do these two eliminate? So I have what on the left? Okay. What's 10 plus -2? Does 0 equal 8? So that means no solution. They are parallel lines. So it does not matter which way you rearrange the equations. It's your choice. Do you want to put them in y equals mx plus b and compare the slope and y-intercept? Or do you want to put them in standard and see if you get an actual answer, or you get 0 equals 0 or 0 equals a different number? Okay, let's look at the next problem. Okay, think about what's easiest for you. Would you want to put these in y equals form or leave them in standard form? Yeah, they're already both in standard. In my opinion, I'd leave them. But I need to change stuff for elimination, right? So what can I do? Multiply one of them by, not positive one's going to give me the same answer. I need to multiply by -1. So I'm going to do the bottom one. Change. Now let's go eliminate. +2 and -2, 0. -3 and +3, 0. What's 0 plus 0? 0. What's 6 plus 4? Does 0 equal 10? So my answer would be no solution. Why would it be no solution? Because these two lines would make parallel lines. Anytime you get no solution, it has to be parallel lines. You could go graph it and prove it that they're parallel, but I'm telling you they're parallel.
Do we have to solve that? Or
That's solved.
I know, I'm saying, did we though? Because we were in the same equation.
It's not the same equation.
No, it was before we changed anything. That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't the same equation. This is a 6 and that's a 4. The left was the same, but the right wasn't. Now, if they were both exactly the same, then you already know that your answer is going to be all real numbers because they're the exact same one. But does that make sense why they're not the same? Okay. Go to the back. Y'all have to decide which way would be best. Putting these in standard or putting these in slope intercept? Yeah, I mean, this is already in y equals, right? So, and all I need to do is move a few things. So here we go. What would I need to do? So minus x, this was got to go over there. So I have negative 2y equals negative x minus 4. Divide everything by negative 2. I'm going to move it. Okay, well, I'll do it in a minute. Y equals a negative divided by a negative is a, so that's 1/2 x plus 2. Are these the exact same equation? Why? The slope's the same. And the b is the, what does that mean? They're the same line. So they're going to touch each other everywhere. So your answer is infinite number of solutions or all real numbers. Y'all want to try the next one on your own? I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'll put them in y equals on that one, the next one. Okay, so you got to rearrange this equation. So you move the 4x by subtraction and then divide everything by negative 2. Okay, were their slopes the same? Were their y-intercepts the same? So what's your answer? All real numbers. What do y'all think we should do on this next equation? Y-intercept or standard? They're both already in standard, right? Okay, can I already cancel stuff out or do I need to change anything? Okay, let me remind you guys why we do that. We need one of the coefficients to be positive and one of them to be negative and be the exact same coefficient. Okay, so it's already done. What does this cancel out to be? What does this cancel out to be? So I have 0 equals, what's 6 plus 3? Is that a true statement? 0 does not equal 9. So my answer would be no solution. Why is it no solution? What kind of lines would these be? These would be parallel lines. Meaning, if I put these in slope-intercept form, their slopes will be the same. Their y-intercepts will be different. Are we okay? Next example. What form do y'all want to do? Okay, this one's already in y equals, so let's go ahead and change that one. Okay, did y'all get y equals 2x minus 4? Are their slopes the same? Okay, are their y-intercepts the same? That means they're the exact same line. they're the same equation, and they're going to touch each other everywhere. So my answer is all real numbers. What if the y-intercepts were different? They'd be parallel, no solution. Okay? All right, next one. Y'all want to do y-intercept or standard? Dardian standard. Do I need to change one of the equations? Really?
Yes.
Yes, because neither of these coefficients are the same. Okay, you want to change the top one? What do you want to multiply by?
-2.
Why would I do -2? Okay, let's talk about it. If I did -2, this would become -10 and they wouldn't cancel out, right? I want to do +2. 2 times 5 is positive 10x. 2 times y is positive 2y. And 2 times -2 is -4. Okay, do these cancel out?
Yes.
Do these cancel out?
Yes.
What's 4 plus -4? So I have 0 equals 0. All real numbers. Because that means they're the exact same line. They would have the same slope, same y-intercept. Remember, if it's 0 equals 5, no solution. 0 equals 0, all real numbers. I want to try the last one on your own. Try the last one on your own. I multiplied the bottom by negative.
Could you do -1 on the bottom, or could you do -3?
Okay, so the last example had a solution. It was 3, 4. Okay, go to your assignment. Please read the directions. Don't just mark what you want to do. Sit up. Pay attention. Number 1 through 3 says what? Identify the... So you have to put it in y equals mx plus b form to identify the slope in the m spot. Y'all better be paying attention to the directions. Okay, number 4, 5, and 6, your job is to match the system with its graph. Is that all it asks you to do? Then it wants you to use the graph to tell whether the linear system has one solution, no solution, or infinitely many, which you could put all real numbers. Okay, now, could you put these in y equals mx plus b form and then go graph them? Could you actually solve them and see which graph makes sense? I don't care how you do it, okay? Y'all want to do one together?
Yeah.
Let's do number 5. Number 5, I would,
Cancel out the y's.
okay, cancel out the y's and I get 2x equals 10. Divide by 2 and what would I get? X equals? Do I need to keep solving, or does that mean there's going to be one solution? Okay, does that have one solution, or is that all real numbers? Does this have one solution, or is that none? Okay, does that have one solution? Then that has to be my answer for number 5. It has to be C. And then I would write one solution. So 2 answers. Does that make sense? There's 2 answers. You have to match the graph and then put one solution, no solution, or all real numbers. Are we okay? Number 7 through 12 says you have to graph it. So if you choose not to graph it, you're going to miss that part of the question. Did everybody hear that? Once you've graphed it, does it say to solve it? No. It says write if it has one solution, no solution, or all real numbers. Guys, you don't have to go write infinitely many. Just put the R with the thing. Okay, y'all want to do one of them? Let's do number 7. Can I already graph the y equals? Remember how to graph? You need an M and a B. My B is 1, so that means I start at 1 with the dot. Then I need an M, a slope. Well, that's a 1, so negative 1 over 1. So down 1, left, not down left. Down right. Down right, down right. You take a straight edge and draw a line through it. Okay, but what do I have to do to the top equation? Rearrange it. Y equals negative x minus 4. So my starting point is negative 4. Same slope, though. What happens if they're the same slope? They're parallel. Am I done after I graph? Hello?
No.
So what else do I need to do besides graph? One solution, no solution, or all real numbers? What am I going to write? No solution. Those are both part of your assignment. Go ahead. Okay, go to the back. Number 13 through 18. You have to solve the linear system. You can choose how to solve it. Totally up to you. I did elimination on every single one. Okay, let's do one of them together. Let's do number 13. Do y'all see anything that I could cancel out? No. Do I have to change both equations? I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3, and I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 5. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15x. 3 times 5 is positive 15y. And 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. Now I'm going to go do the bottom one. 5 times 3 is 15x. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15y. And 5 times 5 is 25.
You can mark it both of them out.
Okay, he said I can mark this one out and this one out. So what am I left with on the left? Oh, on the left, 0. And then on the right, negative 30 plus 25 is negative 5. Does 0 equal negative 5?
No.
So what's my answer? No solution. What if I get 0 equals 0? All real numbers. Can I get x equals 10? Then I got to go solve for y. That means there's one solution. I got to go find it. Okay?
How do you write one solution?
You just write the answer. You would write like x equals 2, y equals 20, whatever. You'd actually solve it.
Coordinate?
Yeah. Okay, the next section, look what it says. Without solving, they don't want you to solve. Tell whether the system has one solution, no solution, or infinitely many. I put them all in y equals mx plus b form. So like 19, 20, 21 are done for you. But like 21, see how you have to simplify that slope right there? Because 6 over 2 is really, yeah. So everybody look at number 19. I would compare their slopes. So here's the slope. I have 1/2 and I have negative 2. Are those the same slope? So they're not going to be parallel. And they're not going to be the same line. So what would my answer be? They're going to meet somewhere, and they're going to have one solution. These are going to be two lines that cross each other.